lovely friends, welcome back. My name is Adele if you are new, and today I'm going to be talking about social media and mental health. So today's video is going to be a little bit different from my other regular videos, although I have done something similar to this recently. A few weeks ago I uploaded a video called Real Talk, Being a Writer is Hard, where I was just kind of ranting about how I was feeling, how writing was hard for me, and I was feeling discouraged and helpless and everything like that. And the response that I got from you guys was so incredible. All of you were so kind, so helpful, so supportive, so encouraging, and a lot of y'all also were commenting your own feelings and talking about how you were going through the same thing, and it just touched my heart, and I really enjoyed all of your responses, and it made me sad that a lot of you were feeling the same way. So I kind of got the idea to start a little series on my channel called Real Talk, where I will just be talking about random topics that are maybe somewhat heavier or just not usually lighthearted. Sometimes it could be writer related, sometimes it could just be life in general, and that's okay because I think it's important to talk about certain things, and the fact that so many of y'all were feeling the same way, it made me think, I'm sure there are so many other things where a lot of y'all are feeling the same way also, and I think we should talk about it. So it's a little bit different from my regular writing videos, but I want to take some time to talk about topics that are important to me and could be important to you guys. So here's episode 2. Also, since I know a very popular style of video is the whole tea time thing where they have tea, I don't like tea, so we have water. It's important to stay hydrated anyways, so this video is going to be very ranty, probably a little stream of consciousness. So, social media. It's great, but it sucks. And I have a very love-hate relationship with it. Mental health. Love-hate relationship as well. Social media is great. I love it. This is social media. What I do is social media, which makes it hard sometimes to do life. I am a millennial. I have been raised with technology. Granted, obviously at the very beginning of my life, it was nowhere near like this. And so, obviously, I have been around technology my whole life, as I'm sure a lot of people have. At least a lot of my viewers and younger people have. And so it's kind of just like a thing that you have and you don't really think about it. It's just there and you use it and it's great until it's not, and it's ruining your mental health and you have to take a break from everything because you're gonna tear your hair out, which I've gone through quite a lot. Something I noticed growing up is that, okay, obviously I'm a writer. I have loved writing stories. I've loved writing creatively my whole entire life. Just loved it. And I would always write, I would always be writing. And then when I was 14 years old, I got my first smartphone. As soon as I got it, I was spending all of my time on it, and I was not writing anymore. Or I mean, I still was, but I was not dedicating as much time to it at all, and it became more of a hassle to write, and it was not something I was looking forward to all the time. And I don't want to say that all of that was just from having a phone, because I was also dealing with a lot of mental health issues, which I guess we're also going to talk about in this video. I find myself needing to take frequent breaks from social media, not just in my day, but I've gone a month, 2 months with deleting the Instagram app from my phone, because if it's on my phone, I literally cannot get off of it. Same thing with Twitter, because I've just noticed that it stops me from doing the things that I want to do. It makes me not have, I want to say not have time to write, but that's not true. I'm just using my time differently. I'm using it on my phone instead of writing. But when it's there all the time, it is such a hindrance. It's such a distraction. to where you really feel like you can't get anything done. And I feel like it's easier for older people who didn't grow up on that to like not have this problem. But phone addiction, social media addiction is a thing, and it's a real thing. And I think a lot of people my age have that. I probably do, but I'm getting tired of it, and I feel like it's stopping me from doing what I want to do, which is right, and spend time with my family, spend time with my friends, and stuff like that. A few months ago, when the iPhone had the like update where you could set the time limit and like the downtime and stuff like that for apps, I was like, great, awesome, finally something I could use to like not be on Instagram or something so much. Instagram's probably like the biggest one for me. It used to be Twitter, but like I'll get into that. So I set it to an hour a day for certain apps, Instagram included. I still do. I have it set to 1 hour, and it got to the point where I was repeatedly hitting that hour. The thing would pop up saying you've reached your limit, and I would click remind me in 15 minutes, and I'd just keep scrolling on Instagram, and it'd pop up again, and I'd hit remind me in 15 minutes. I still do that because I still have it set, and I need to like not do that, but it's stinking hard, and it sucks that I feel like I have to devote so much of my time to it. It's pointless scrolling. I'm not doing anything. I mean, sometimes there are things I have to do on my phone, obviously, but like in regards to certain things like Instagram or like Snapchat, there's no point. But it's addictive because that's how they do it. That's how they set it up. You get that little dopamine. I'm not getting into all that, but it sucks when it's taking away from the things you want to do and your hobbies and your passions, etc. Also with Snapchat, like, you know, you have streaks and stuff, and like I know streaks are really not as popular as they used to be, which is great, and I'm glad, you know, that that's not a super popular thing anymore. I only have one streak. It's with Gavin, my boyfriend. We have like a streak of like almost 900 days, and I hold so much, like, it has nothing to do with our relationship, but I hold so much in that 900-day streak. We've lost it like 3 times on accident, and we have to like quickly email them and they'll restore it, which is awesome. But I'm like, why do I care so much about that number? Why do I care so much? Like, that does not take away anything from my relationship. That holds no weight at all. But for some reason, I can't let go of it. Obviously, we Snapchat each other every day, which is why we have the streak. It's not something we have to like think about. But, you know, on the rare occasion, the hourglass will pop up and I'm like, Gavin, send me a snap. Basically, it's stupid, and I'm aware of it, but they have manipulated things to where it is such an addictive thing, you know what I mean? Twitter. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about. I used to be so addicted to Twitter. I would be on Twitter all the time, probably more than Instagram. And I don't have Twitter now, which is probably why Instagram has taken its place. But I used to be on Twitter all the time, and I want to say almost a year ago now, it was in September of 2018, I deleted the app from my phone on one of those little like breaks, because like I said, I take frequent breaks where I'll be like, okay, I'm deleting this app for like a week or a month or whatever, and just so I can have a break. I deleted Twitter in September of 2018. I deleted the app. I sold my account. And I haven't gotten it back because I feel so good without it. I like noticed how much more I was doing, how much more productive I was being, and how good for my mental health it was to not be on Twitter all the time. I still don't have it, and something I've been a little like thinking about was making a new one, but it would be for my writing, because Twitter's it's a great social media. It's a great networking thing to be able to meet other people, and I know that the writing community is a pretty big one on Twitter, and I'm a writer, and I have had some people like on here wanting to like find me on Twitter or something like that, And I even logged on to my Twitter on the computer like a few days ago. I haven't been on since September. And I had some messages from people who watch me on here talking, about my videos or something. And I'm like, it made me sad because I couldn't respond to them because I didn't have it. Like I was cut off in that sense, and I wasn't there in that way, you know what I mean? And so I thought about making another Twitter for like writing purposes to document like writing stuff just like this. Even with my Instagram, I have kind of transitioned it to be more about my writing. It is my personal account, so it's like there's more than just that, but basically I've been thinking about that, but I'm also, part of me is scared because when I had Twitter last time, I was stinking all over it, and I don't want it to get out of hand again. And it's not like I was like constantly on it, because I don't think I was, but I was like, just in my free time, whenever I had free time, I would be on it or something, just scrolling, pointless scrolling. There's also the aspect of being exposed to every news thing or event that happens, and I live in America where there's a lot of bad stuff happening, and it got to the point where, which was part of the reason I had deleted the app in the first place, where I could not keep getting on there and seeing things that were making me sad and hurt and cry for other people, and I hated it. I didn't want to see that anymore because it was hurting me, and it was like not helping my mental health at all. There's also the issue of comparison, comparing yourself to everything you see. I am a huge, like the whole FOMO thing, fear of missing out. I've got that big time. For a while, a few years ago, I struggled with not having many friends, and it sucked seeing other people doing stuff and comparing my life to theirs. Another thing that I have struggled with is like envy and I'm just exposing myself. I did not think I was gonna get this deep. I feel like I'm talking to my therapist. But it sucked. It was hard to get on and just scroll and see things and feel bad because you didn't have that or you didn't look like that. And it's no fun. And I don't know. And then bringing writing into this, besides not having time to write, just also recently, like I said, I've been transitioning my Instagram to include more of my writing and bring in more of like my own progress and writing and stuff like that, because a lot of you from here follow me on my Instagram, and so I want to talk about that and make writing sort of my thing across all platforms. So I've been doing that a lot more, and I've been getting more involved with the Instagram writing community, which is great, and there's a lot of great people on there. But I'll see like even the smallest thing, like a writer they'll post a pretty picture of their desk and have their stuff laid out and everything looks pretty, and I'm like, why does my desk look like that? It's so harmful. And you could say that's like a personal problem, but I really think there are so many people who see stuff like that and also deal with the same thing. And you could say it's a personal problem, like, oh, you just shouldn't be that envious, but like, for a generation who has grown up on this, being fed these images, being fed what you should and shouldn't do, what you should and shouldn't look like, it's very harmful and very dangerous, and not something you can just get rid of or disregard so easily. Or I will see other writers posting about their progress, and they're like, I wrote 5,000 words today. And I'm sitting there in bed with my double chin Cheetos, and I'm like, I haven't gotten up out of bed today because I can't write a single word. Let's take a drink of my water. I'm feeling a little crusty. Anyway, you know what I mean? There's just little things where it's like you notice it. You don't always notice it, but when you do, it's like, it feels like I'm living my life for someone else. Like someone else is controlling my life. Not even someone else, something else. Something else is controlling my life, and I'm looking at it right now. It's this stupid phone. Oh, I need another drink. There are just things I've started to notice that I've noticed a long time ago, and I should have noticed more time ago than that. That didn't make any sense. But when you notice it and you examine the things that you're doing and the way that you're spending your time, it is eye-opening, and sometimes not in a good way. Also, when the iPhone came out with that update for the like track your time stuff, I started looking at the it'll show you like how long you've spent on your phone for the week or in the day, and like which apps you're using the most and stuff like that. I have an average of about 4 hours a day, and I know that there are people who have more than that, and obviously there are people who have less than that. I don't know what the average is for other people, like just in general, I don't. But for me, my average a week is 4 hours on my phone, and that terrifies me, because I then look at the apps that I'm spending the most time on, and it's things that should not have that much control in my life, like Instagram, Snapchat, Pinterest. What am I doing on Pinterest? Looking at houses, looking at babies. Right now I have my Tumblr notifications off, because that was another big thing that I spent a lot of time on, and so I have my Tumblr notifications off, and I'm almost too scared to get on there and see, because I'm scared that I'll just start scrolling, or I don't know, I don't want to fall back into that. And it sucks also because Tumblr is where I have a writing blog on there, and I've gotten messages from some of you, notifications from some of you, and I'm terrified to get on because I don't want to fall into that again. But then I feel guilty because I know that I have messages waiting from some of you, things from some of you that I need to get to, and then I feel like I'm letting you guys down or something, and I'm like, it's like a constant like push and pull. It's like a tug of war, and it's so stinking hard. And that was another thing with like Twitter. If I made another writing Twitter, I want to connect with you guys and I want to meet more writers, but I'm so scared it's gonna turn into another like addiction, because that's what it is. And technology is it's such a recent thing if you think of like the whole grand scheme of things and all of history. Social media and like phones and computers and stuff like that, and these personal handheld devices, it's such a new thing. We don't have, old, what am I thinking of? Old, relevant, working, like good research on this stuff. None of those words were what I was thinking of, but basically just social media is great. There are a lot of great benefits to it. You can connect with other people, and it's so awesome, and it's a really amazing thing that we have to be able to do that, and I feel so incredibly lucky to even be like living at this time period, but we don't yet know the full consequences of it, and it's no fun, and I know other people go through this. And so I wanted to talk about it. I didn't have a specific bulleted list of things to talk about. I just knew that I wanted to talk about it. And I hope some of y'all relate, because a lot of y'all did in the last one, which is great because we can relate to each other and know that we're not alone. But it sucks because a lot of people are going through this. I just need to learn to use it wisely, set boundaries for myself, and actually have more like willpower and control over my life. And obviously these are all things that we could say are personal problems that we all need to work on, which is true, and we should. But at the same time, I am part of a generation who has grown up with this, probably the first generation to grow up with handheld like personal phones and such a huge reach across the world just from their pocket, which is, it's incredible, but it's scary, and I'm concerned. So, I think that's everything I have to say. I know this was all over the place, and I'm so sorry. Just I've just noticed how social media is affecting my life and my mental health, and I don't like it. And I wanted to talk about it in the hopes that someone else is also feeling that way. So, I believe that is it. I cannot think of anything else to say. So, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you are enjoying this new little series that I came up with. I'm kind of excited about it, and comment down below any topics you may have that you'd like to hear me talk about or have my opinion on, and I'd love to, because I've definitely got some things that I'd like to talk about. But I believe that's everything. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I hope you enjoyed, and I love you all so very much, whatever you're going through, and I will see you guys in my next video.